The President's senior advisor, Valerie Jarrett, is here in the Situation Room. Let's talk about this. But before we do, I want to play this clip because former U.S. Army Lieutenant Dan Choi, a West Point grad, served in Iraq, an Arabic linguist. He was on American Morning here on CNN earlier this morning after you were on CNN, and he had some strong words. He's deeply distressed about the Obama administration and what's going on as far as gays serving openly in the U.S. military.
I just heard Valerie Jarrett talk to you guys, and I'm so absolutely upset at the things that she could be saying at this moment. Yesterday, when President Obama, after Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been dead for a week, no enormous consequences, no people quitting the military because of honest soldiers, and all of a sudden you see this president want to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to discrimination and injustice. Valerie Jarrett said that gay people, some of us should try to understand the politics and the situation and that we are a nation of laws. Well, we understand that. We don't need a lecture from Valerie Jarrett on that. Civics, day one, American government, checks and balances. When Congress enacts a law that's unconstitutional, whose job is it to strike it down? The courts. I understand the judicial branch is now the only branch of government that is filling its mandate to the Constitution. And that the president is not able to do that upsets me. I'm resentful, absolutely.
But do you understand the administration's position that they say that they're committed to repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but they want to do it through Congress, they don't want to do it through the courts?
I don't think they're committed at all.
You think this is just lip service?
Just politics. This is a midterm election calculation from the politicians in the White House and in the administration.
So you don't trust them?
I do not. And actually, at this point, I have a message for Valerie Jarrett and all those people that are those politicians in the White House. You've lost my trust. You have lost my trust, and I am not going to vote for Barack Obama after what he did yesterday.
Oh, you know, you hear that from a lot of activists in the gay community right now. They're very, very upset.
Well, listen, well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me on. And this is a very important issue, and I'd like to just address it directly. The president has said that during his term in office, as soon as possible, he would like Congress to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It's legislation that was passed by Congress. He can't simply sign an executive order to revoke it, or he would have. And so we're asking Congress to repeal it. And until then, the Justice Department has no choice but to defend the laws that are on the books, and that's what the Justice Department is doing. But we want it to end, and we want it to end as soon as possible.
One legal scholar suggested today that perhaps the president could go ahead and do what he needs to do, but at the same time make it clear to everyone that he thinks this law is unconstitutional.
He's done that. He did that as recently as last week when he was at a town hall meeting. He said he thinks that this law should be absolutely repealed. He doesn't believe in this law. He agrees that there are gay men and women serving in our military, proudly defending our country, putting their life on the line every single day, and that this law has no place in our country. But it is an act of Congress, and Congress should repeal it.
But as you know, after the elections, almost certainly there are going to be more Republicans and conservatives in the new Congress than in the current Congress.
This shouldn't be a
here's the question.
Or Democratic issue.
It shouldn't be, but you know, it could be between liberals and conservatives. Here's the question. Will you push for repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell during the lame duck session?
I know that the president has said he wants it repealed as quickly as possible. I think if you look at any kind of surveys, the vast majority of American people want it to be repealed, so it shouldn't be a partisan issue, and we do fully intend to push forward. And we share the frustration of people who think that it should be done right away. We wish that it had been done sooner, but we are determined to get it done.
So if Dan Choi were here, what would you say to him? Because you can see how upset he is.
I appreciate his frustration. I share his frustration, and I understand that for somebody who has served proudly in the military, that he thinks that this is an outrage. We think it's an outrage, too. And we think that that focus should be directed at Congress, because Congress is the one that passed it in the first place. Congress is the one who should repeal it.
All right, let's